Today we're going to talk about tires, specifically these tires. Sorry for any background noise. It's the middle of grass mowing season here in western North Carolina, so the neighbors are all mowing their grass right now. That's all right. We're going to continue on. I want to start off by saying I'm not sponsored or affiliated with Falken in any way. I bought these tires, I paid full price for them, and paid to have them installed for me. This is my honest review of these tires. Just wanted to make a video to discuss how these tires have done for me. I've had them for 15,000 miles now. So after I filmed this video, I found my paperwork for when I bought those tires and realized I've actually had them for 23,000 miles, not 15,000. So sorry about that. On with the video. And I wanted to go over the on-road and off-road performance of them, as well as how they've held up over the past 15,000 miles. This is a 31-10-50-15. So that's 31 inches tall, 10.5 inches wide on a 15-inch wheel. These tires are also 3-peak mountain snowflake rated. That's this symbol here. That means these tires are rated and tested for snow, for road snow, hard compact road snow. Certain areas of the country that there are roads you can't drive on certain times of the year without chains, unless you have a type of tire with that rating on them. Another thing with these tires is stone ejectors. They're stepping in the tread. See a little here, right there. Little focus. They're stepping in the tread that's supposed to help eject stones. And there's a nice beefy sidewall on these tires as well. Pretty aggressive looking sidewall, especially for an all-terrain tire. I really like the look at them, and it does seem to work well. Now if you look at the tread pattern on these tires, you can see for an all-terrain this is a pretty aggressive tread pattern. You've got pretty large lugs on the side that help with digging through mud, and a pretty nice pattern through the middle that helps keep them quiet on road. In all of these lugs, you've got this siping, and this is what really helps in wet weather and snow performance. As far as on-road performance goes, I've been really happy with these tires. The noise level, when brand new, was unnoticeable. I went from a mud terrain tire to these, and I could not hear that these tires were making any kind of noise. That's partially due to the center tread pattern there I showed you. It's laid out, I think, really well, and it helps a lot with road noise. Dry weather traction with these tires are, of course, they're great. You know, you're not going to have much problem with traction with most tires until you get wet weather, but ride quality can still be bad in dry weather. The ride quality on these tires is very smooth. That goes along with the noise level usually. If you've got a loud tire, it's probably not a very comfortable tire. These tires ride very smooth, they're very quiet. They have gotten louder as they've worn in. I'll get into that a little bit more at the end of why they've gotten louder. In the snow, they are fantastic. This is the best tire I've ever had in the snow. They tons of traction because of all that siping in the lugs. There's tons of traction in the wet and in the snow, especially on hard packed snow on the road. That's where these tires really shine, is winter and wet snow weather performance. Off-road, I was really impressed by these tires. For this to be an all-terrain tire, they gripped hard. Recently I went up to Patriot Mountain Off-Road Park in Boone. If you live in the western North Carolina area and you're looking for a place to go four-wheeling, I highly suggest that place. It's a great park. There's a lot of really cool trails up there to check out. So if you're in the area, go show those guys some love. This tire performed amazing up there, really, really excellent. And I've taken it a couple places, but this tire really performed well off-road. We went through dry dirt, hill climbs, mud, rocks, all of it, and it took it all like a champ. However, it is still an all-terrain. It is still limited. It does not clear mud as well as a mud terrain tire will. Where I had issues with it was after going through a mud hole and then from the mud hole directly into the rock garden, or the playground as they call it up there. The first time I went through the playground and the rocks, it had tons of grip. I didn't slide a bit, and we went straight up and over, and there was no fuss. Then we tried to go through directly after hitting a pretty sizable mud hole. The tire went through the mud like a champ. I didn't get stuck, I didn't lose traction, it just paddled right through it. Then as we came up around the hill into the playground, I tried to go up over the rocks again. And that's where I had some issues. Because this tire had not cleared the mud as a mud terrain tire would, these tires were caked full of mud and very slick. So as I climbed up onto that rocks, I just lost traction on all the wheels and spun and slid. Now I'm sure I could have got the tire speed up and spun a bunch more mud out of them and probably made it over that obstacle. I didn't want to test braking anything. Another thing to note with these tires, as far as off-road or even on-road, this kind of blurs the lines in between the two. I showed you the stone ejectors in the tread. The gravel would get stuck in the tread and it wouldn't sling out. You'd have 20 pieces of gravel stuck in the tread going down the highway and at 60 miles an hour, and then they're not slinging out, ticking and going down the road sounding like a tap dancer. Now that these tires have worn in a little bit, they are now ejecting stones much more quickly and much more efficiently. Now, as for how these tires have held up over 15,000 miles, I would say very good. There are a couple caveats to that, and I'm going to show you that. But first, I want to show you the tread depth. I'm going to walk around, I'm going to measure the tread depth on each side and the center of all four tires. Alright, this is passenger front tire, right below 12 and 13/32. Right about 13, pretty close to the same, just under 13 on the inside. Now to the rear passenger side, closer to 11/32 on the outside of this rear one. Now I have kept these tires rotated. These were in the front for a little bit longer, so the wear is a little more on these. Just under 13. Side we're looking between 13 and 14. The driver's side rear looks to be around 12, a little under 12. Looking right at 13 for the center. And the inside, right around 13. Driver's front, right around 13 for the outside, right at 13 for the middle, right at 13 for the inside. Now, if you'll remember earlier in the video, I said that the noise level of the tires have increased, and that's true, they have. Now, it's not a significant amount, but I have noticed it. And the reason that's happened is because one of the tires has cupped. If you don't know what cupping is, it's basically where you have an uneven wear pattern across the tread. So if you look at the tread kind of at this angle or straight across, you'll notice a wave in the tread. So maybe the inside is worn more than part of the middle, and then it raises up higher and then lower back out on the inside. That would be cupping. And that's what's going on that rear passenger tire. If you noticed when we did the tread depth gauge, it was the one that was really way off from the other ones. The other ones all sat right around 13/32. That one tire was 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, and just depending on where you measured it, it was way off from itself and from the rest of the tires. Now the reason that happened is my own fault. This is not Falken's fault on this tire. I went off-roading and aired my tires down, and when we got done I aired my tires back up, and I incorrectly measured the pressure in that one tire. So all of my other tires were at road pressures at 32 psi, is about where I like to run these tires on this vehicle, between 32 and 35. And that one tire I left at somewhere between 22 and 25. I thought I had aired it up to 32 and it was at 22, and it's a dumb mistake and it's my own mistake. So I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and that's what happens with that tire. That's not Falken's fault, and Falken warranties these tires for 55,000 miles, and honestly I probably could contact Falken and, you know, submit through their tire warranty and get this tire replaced, but I'm not going to do that. It's not bothering me. And then I would have one brand new tire and 3 partially worn tires, so I'm not going to worry about doing that. I'm still very happy with how these tires perform with that one tire cupped. The noise is not really noticeable. The tire was on the front, it was more noticeable then. I moved the tire to the rear of the vehicle and I haven't noticed it since. You can hear it if you're listening for it, especially if the top's off, but it is still nowhere near the noise level of any mud terrain tire. With that being said, I'd say all in all these tires are wearing evenly, except for that one that I messed up. Tires are wearing evenly. They're wearing very well. They still have 30 seconds tread is pretty good for this aggressive of a tire, and a tire that performs this well on and off-road. I'm a big fan of these tires. I would recommend and have recommended them to anyone that's asked me what type of tire they should get. Anyone that daily drives their vehicle but still wants to do some off-roading, this is a fantastic tire. I will stand by that statement. It has its issues, as all tires do, and it has its compromises, but it is a very well-versed tire for on and off-road. So it may be you're daily driving your Jeep or your truck or whatever it is you have, and you like to take it in the woods, or you like to take it to a park here and there and go four-wheeling. This is a great tire to have. It does great in the mud, it does great in the snow, it does great in the dirt, and it does great on the road. So that's my 2 cents with these tires. If you disagree with me, please feel free to comment below. I really like these Falkens, but it's time for a bigger tire on this Jeep. I'm not daily driving this Jeep anymore, so I'm thinking maybe mud terrains. I'm gonna be researching tires just like I did before I bought these. Research tires and compounds and what's best for my area, what's best for my application. And I'm gonna come to a decision on, I'm not sure yet. There's a bunch of different brands I'm looking at. I'm not just looking at Falkens, although the Falken mud terrains are one that I'm looking at. I'm looking at all of them. So we'll see what we get next. I'm gonna go with what's gonna be best for my application. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you made it this part of the video, thank you so much for sticking around. Hit that like button, get subscribed, turn notifications on, whatever you gotta do, whatever you wanna do, it's fine with me. Hit the dislike button if you didn't like the video. Let me know your thoughts, give me some feedback. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.